Avengers Endgame. Let's fucking go. I'm TJ Wild.
Calvin AG.
What you doing, yo?
Nothing. Just chilling.
Word up, word up.
You know I is way better than you. You know I do this.
We curse a fucking lot.
It's been a long time.
So what we're gonna do is just take the best parts, in our opinion, and just gush over that for like 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Spoiler heavy.
This is spoiler city.
Heavy.
If you are still watching after this point, you either A, have already seen the movie, or you're a masochist. In either way, I don't give a fuck. So let's get it cracking. All right? So this was Tony Stark's fair motherfucking well party, in my opinion. And outside of BP, out of the whole MCU, Tony was my boy from Jump Street. So for him to be the dude to fucking snap the finger and sacrifice himself, that was it. You could not have had a more fitting ending, especially given that all he's been through mentally. Because here's the situation. You remember Iron Man 1, you know, playboy billionaire, you know what I'm saying, Stark's Industries, I'm the man, you know, such and such. He goes through his conflict, but he always comes out, and he always has that shoulder dusting, you know what I'm saying? We didn't really see any real, like, mental trauma with him until the Avengers situation, the first Avengers, where he went up into space, and he saw the shit that he didn't really need to see, and that carried over into Iron Man 3, where the PTSD from that shit was fucking with him. So we kind of saw the degradation scene where they come back. He comes back from space, and he just pretty much, Cap comes to him and said, "We need your help, dude. We're gonna try to bring the 50% of the people that's gone. We're gonna try to bring them back." And he just was like, "You know what? Nah. Y'all should have listened to me from Jump Street. Like I told y'all like 20 fucking movies ago, however the fuck many, that just, y'all need to hear me. Build a barrier around Earth." But no, he didn't want to build a barrier around Earth. So we did everything that we could. If y'all just listened to me from the beginning, we'd be all right. You want to be me? You want to be leader? Boom. Take my heart. Take my fucking heart. He fucking broke down. Like, that, and this is like 11 years worth of stress and shit. So, beautifully acted.
Very well acted.
Robert Downey Jr. has my respect.
Yeah.
Just as an actor in general.
Like his
not just as Iron Man.
Oh yeah, his gravitas, like the way he, like you can feel as though these characters are as a whole, and we're going to talk about everybody else, these characters are lived in. So not only have we lived with these characters for 11 years, these actors have lived with these characters for 11 years. Like they feel the weight of everything that they're dealing with, and you can see that on screen.
Word, dude.
Word. And I'm pretty sure, and I mean, we can look at this after, I think he was really that skinny. I don't know if that was CG or not.
It looked real to me.
Because he looked like real, like emaciated. He reminded me of like, what is it, a Machinist, a Christian Bale, where he was like 110 pounds. So shout out to Robert Downey Jr. Overall, I know he's going to talk about it some more, but that guy should get at least a Best Actor nomination. That guy he did his thing, and it was awesome.
At least give the fucker a Golden Globe. At least give him a Golden Globe.
That end scene where he died, because once again, spoiler alert.
R.I.P. Tony Stark. He was the one that did it. Now, it was a dice roll.
I am Iron Man.
It was a dice roll. It was either going to be Cap or Tony.
Yeah.
And there was a scene that we thought Cap was going to... You know what? I'm going to stop talking about Tony for a minute. Go ahead. Let him know some of the ill shit that you thought was dope.
So, we talked about Cap, right? Captain... And it's funny. Like, he mentioned Iron Man is his favorite Avenger. In my opinion, Captain America is my favorite Avenger. Arguably, it's Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my favorite character of all time.
He is now an Avenger.
Yeah, but he's technically an Avenger. But as far as in this MCU, Captain Man is definitely a close second. Because the guy is our, I guess... our anchor towards, I guess, the human side of the Avengers. Because while he is enhanced, he's essentially a human. But all his stories are, in my opinion, the best. And we followed his journey from the beginning. Yeah. And he's the first Avenger, because that was in the title, to now the end. So to see him now graduate from being just that skinny kid to now leading the Avengers and leading this entire group of people was awesome. I could talk about Captain America forever, but he finally grabbed the hammer.
And you know, I'm not even.
So it was just amazing in the movie theater to see the hammer kind of raise up.
Our theater damn near had a standing ovation at that shit.
It was
like no bullshit.
Epic. Like he grabbed the hammer. Not only did he grab the hammer, he just knew how to use it, arguably better than Thor in some ways. Like he was swinging it around. He was bouncing the shield off of it. He was calling lightning down.
Now how about that shit when he was fighting Thanos at the end? He took the shield, bow, hammer, like knocking the shield back into him type of shit.
So
like that man got busy.
Awesome.
He got busy.
So shout out to like, and that was good fan service, but legitimate and actually respectful fan service that worked to enhance the plot. Like so awesome. So I love that scene.
Yeah. Take it back.
And about it, shout out at the end. What is it? Him finally going back in time and actually having that dance with Peggy Carter.
The one that he missed in the first Avengers because he had to crash the plane into the ocean.
Yes.
Like, you want to talk about tying a bow on some motherfucking shit,
so
man?
Good.
Like, there were so many bows getting tied. Yeah. And then the significance of the hammer, like, until I thought about it, because you got to remember, you go back to 2012. The first Avengers movie when they were all fucking around in the living room.
The second movie.
The second, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
That's what I totally said because editing is awesome. And the second movie when he kind of pulled the hammer and that's when the rumors started flying like, oh, well, maybe he's one of the chosen one. No, there's only one chosen one in the store, so blah, blah, blah. This movie was like, nah. Yeah. He got busy. And I already told y'all last week the respect that I earned for Captain America with this shit. So I don't have to say no more about it. But I do want to talk about, since we're on the subject of Cap, he did get busy. Like, he got busy. One of my favorite parts of the movie outside of Stark-related shit is the elevator scene, how they recreated it. Now, if you've already seen the movie, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. If you don't, go fucking see it. If you haven't seen the movie, why are you watching this? Fuck. Anyway, they recreated the scene, and shout out to Darian, my boy, our boy. You know what I'm saying? He pointed it out while we were sitting outside. He was all like, he was waiting for him. If you saw Winter Soldier, setup was just a fucking exact same, and then he gets in that shit, you know. And we both were waiting for that one line. And I said it last week. Matter of fact, let me just play the clip because I'm too lazy to recall it.
Before we get started. Does anyone want to get out?
Clip has been played. Okay, so instead of that shit happening, because he now has the knowledge to know that Hydra infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D., which, again, we talked about last week. I'm going to try to see if I can get that briefcase from him, you know what I'm saying? But, hold on. I have to, talk to, Captain blah, blah, blah and find out what it is. No, it's all good, man. Yo, Hydra. And then the next shot is him walking out the elevator with the shit. The whole theater was like... No bullshit. Like, our theater was interactive as fuck. I love that was definitely one of my favorite parts of this shit.
I agree with you. I love that scene as well. What is it? So another thing that was awesome in the movie was of Thor, because Thor is just, in my opinion, also one of the best characters in those movies. And
he grew on me a lot.
And we touched on this, I think, when we were talking about this earlier, how Chris Hemsworth has really gotten, really great with his comedic timing. Now that he's embraced that character and he realizes that it's, well, he's certainly serious. I'm going to get to that in a second.
Yeah.
He realizes how kind of hokey it is to fly around with a hammer and have a cape and, like, talk like you're from, like, the medieval times. And, like, he's embraced... Well, no, we're saying he's embraced that, and now he's made it into, like, an actual character that is serious, but also can make fun of himself when he needs to. And that's why I like Thor's...
They expanded his boundaries. Right.
Exactly.
Word
so
up.
Long story short, like, and him showing up this movie as Fat Thor, which was funny, but was also kind of dark because it was representative of how bleak the story was, because he really felt that he caused this entire situation, because had he gone for the head, we wouldn't have this movie right now.
And you remember when they had formulated the first plan, because there were two plans. The first plan was we're going to go to the planet where Thanos is and fuck his ass up, which they did. But remember, and then the second plan was the time travel shit. Yeah. Remember, before they went, he was like, I'm not, he said something to the effect of, I'm not going to miss.
Yeah.
Remember that?
He said that.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he didn't miss. Took that right off. But yeah, but him feeling, I guess, horrible, especially after killing him and still things going the way they were. Him going into a depression as far as, like, a drunk like dude that doesn't care about shit.
Yeah, man.
Shout out, by the way, to Valkyrie coming back, who is awesome, and Tessa Thompson.
Fine as fuck.
Yes.
Bad as shit.
You want to come on the show? You're more than welcome.
Hey, man.
But
I know we had invited Simone Missick last season, but that was last season.
Maybe Tessa Thompson will come.
Maybe y'all both
She's
can
not even
show.
British, by the way. I learned that like last year.
She is British?
She's not. She does that for the movie. Yeah. So what is it? Shout out to seeing Korg again, which is also awesome. But yeah, Fat Thor was great. But he was the comedy in this movie, but also had one of the, I guess, most emotional moments, in my opinion, of the movie in his conversation with his mom, which Renee Russo was awesome to come back. She acted her ass off in that short scene that she was in and really instilled some knowledge in Thor and really mentioned to him, like, you know, you don't really have to always be who I guess you're supposed to be. Ultimately, as long as you are like who you are, like really want to be, or who you believe you are, and that's not that specific quote, but that's essentially what she was saying. You'll be okay.
And he took that knowledge, because remember at the end of the movie, he was like, I don't even want to be the king of New Asgard anymore, or Asgard, or whatever the fuck. That's going to be on you. I'm going to go do me, like my mama told me, basically.
Which I thought was great, which leads him to go into the Guardians of the Galaxy, which hopefully will be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which will be an awesome addition. Also, real quick, I love the way he was dual wielding Mjolnir.
Oh,
and the
yeah.
axe. Like when he brought both of them together. Oh, that was just epic. I love that.
Indeed. Now, if we want to talk about going back to the past, and now we're talking about the second plan, because again, there were two. He went back to Asgard with Rocky to try to get one of the stones back from his ex-girl, Jane, whatever, fuck her, blah, blah, blah. So we ended up having, you know, that interaction between them all. But I thought, on that same token, going back to Tony, because again, my favorite Avenger out the whole shit, you know what I'm saying, when he ran into Howard.
Yes,
he ran into Howard. I felt the gravity more on that.
The fact that he has a daughter now, so he feels that even more now.
And the conversation that he was having with his dad about raising him.
Yep.
That's just
and that last line where his dad pretty much said was like, yeah, well, you know, I know I haven't even met him yet, but I know that I would do anything for him or something in that aspect.
Yeah.
That was, man, that was rough. Just another. Now that we know what happened at the end, just another send off to Tony, which was
for sure. This movie in my mind was all about Tony. Let's talk about some of the illest fight scenes.
So
the dopest.
So the dopest fight scenes, of course, it was Captain America on Captain America.
Yes.
Which was awesome.
Yeah, and he actually threw the line, I could do this all day. Yeah, I know, man.
And of course, them falling like 2 stories and getting up, because that's classic.
Of
Cap.
course, yes.
Of course, we have to touch on the ending fight scene.
Oh man!
And I know this
the
is
most epic battle of all time,
and
unless Game of Thrones can prove us wrong on Sunday.
We'll see. But it started off with Cap, Iron Man, and Thor all fighting Thanos. By the way, and we have to touch on Thanos super quick in this. Did it seem to you that he was actually more menacing in this movie than he was in Infinity War? Maybe because he was more hungry. I don't know. But this Thanos to me, because he was fucking up all 3 of them without the actual gauntlet. And remember in the last movie, Thor took him out with one axe shot, like it was nothing.
I'll give you that.
So I mean, to me, it seemed like more dangerous in this movie.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna give you that, because in the first one, I mean, it's basically part 1, part 2. So in Infinity War, you know, it's basically him going after all the gems. So we know you're that dude because you're out there fucking shit up, getting all the gems.
Yeah.
He knew, thanks to Nebula, that he was going to end up getting the gems. He was going to end up destroying the gems. He was going to snap the fingers.
So that boosted his confidence.
So he didn't have to be out there so much. So he was just more of a foreboding presence, which is definitely more lethal, like mentally.
Yeah, true.
So
especially that scene where like Thor's pretty much just sitting there looking at him like.
I feel you on
like sitting there. So I agree with you on that point as well. That's a good point.
Word.
But yeah, like as far as we touched on, it was him grabbing the hammer. Mm-hmm. We touched on Tony getting messed up, and also Cap's shield getting broken, and then we're thinking all hope is lost.
Yep.
And all of a sudden we start to hear these radio chatters start to come through.
Yep.
And we see those classic Doctor Strange circles start to open, And then we see the cavalry come in, and we see Black Panther.
Yes.
We see his sister.
Yo.
We see Doctor Strange come in.
Yes.
We see, what is it?
Asian dude,
Hope
I forget what his name is.
Wong.
Wong.
We see Hope Van Dyne come in.
Yeah.
We
I didn't see
was
Doctor
it
Strange.
Scarlet Witch come in.
Yeah, man.
And then, of course, we see the greatest character of all time swing in. And once again, and TJ Wild touched on this earlier, our crowd went crazy when Spider-Man swung in. Like,
for sure.
Insane.
Yeah,
like,
for
and I
sure.
did too, because Tom Holland does his things. And shout out to, what is it, Doctor Strange and that quick, what is it, putting up the one finger?
This is the
one scenario.
Yeah.
And that's why Doctor Strange didn't tell him before that, because he knew the one scenario that they could win was Tony had to die.
Yeah.
And that's why he didn't want to tell him that.
Right. Because he said it. If I tell you it, then it's not going to happen.
Exactly. So that was
Tony, you're going to die. What? Fuck this. I'm out. You know?
Exactly. So that was just excellent. But I mean, shout out to, by the way, and I know we can talk about this battle for days, but I love the football reference scene where, like, they had the gauntlet.
It started with so Hawkeye had it first, or Hawkeye / Ronan had it first. Yes.
And then I think it got knocked out of his hand, and then BP took it up, and then what is it? Ended up running for a while.
And then Spidey was like, "I got you."
And Spidey took it, and then what is it? With some help from what is it? Cap. I think it was Cap, because he threw the hammer.
Yeah, that's when we found out.
And he caught on to it.
That's when we found out.
And then we had that awesome scene where it was just the women.
Oh, you caught it too. You caught it too.
You saw it was all women, right?
There was definitely a hashtag Me Too movement in this motherfucker.
Cause Captain Marvel came in and cleaned up house, and then grabbed the gauntlet, and then what is it? It was like, so how is she gonna get through it? All of a sudden, every major woman from that came in.
Black Widow was in that bitch.
Oh my God! It was
Shuri was in that
Shuri
bitch.
was in there. What is it? Hope Van Dyne was in there.
Hope Van Dyne was
Wasp,
in that
as we
shit.
call her, Scarlet Witch.
All of them.
All of them were in there.
The ladies of Marvel.
The
ladies of motherfucking Marvel.
So long story short, that scene was just so epic.
That was dopeness.
Man, we can go on for that for days.
I guess we're gonna get to our final thoughts.
Really quick, just super quick. Just kind of roll in my final thoughts as well. So overall, the movie was excellent. Like, it was really, really well written. It was well directed.
Now there are plot holes like a motherfucker, because when you introduce time travel, there's gonna be holes.
But yeah, the time travel, there's gonna be some issues with that, which we can talk about in another video.
Right.
What is it? It was well directed. The humor was actually paced really well throughout it. So
it was a very much needed break.
It wasn't in bad spots. So overall, I thought the movie was excellent. And also, it was a really great example of fan service in that it wasn't just thrown in there just to make the fans happy. It was fan service that was used to further the plot and make the movie better overall.
So going to the fan service, because this was the last movie, before we move on to the next phase after Far From Home, you know, it pretty much had to be done. Like, this is the last one.
Yep.
So your loose ends are getting tied up here. You know what I'm saying? Like, things that you always wanted to see. Like, I'm sure there were people that were dying to see Cap wield the hammer, and he did. And he wrecked shop. So for people that, like me, that didn't really care that much beforehand, now I give a shit. I give a lot of a shit, and I'm glad. Because clearly, Steve has been watching Thor enough to know how to wield the fucking hammer, summoning lightning from the sky and all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So boom, boom, bam. Fan service as far as that's concerned. Also, I'm sure there were people that wanted to see Pepper Pot in a fucking Iron Man suit. She came down from the sky. I'm like, wait, another War Machine, and then the fucking shit came out.
That was dope. When they were going like back to back, and they were shooting lasers.
Yeah.
Like back. Oh, that was so.
Yeah, like it was cool to see her get down. It was
awesome.
And it makes sense, because if your fucking boyfriend slash husband is Iron Man, you're gonna pick up some shit in the same way that Cap picked up shit from Thor. So you know, it was dope.
Also, shout out to Nebula. I thought she was great as well in this movie, because she actually had to play. Everybody had to play like a couple versions of themselves.
Yeah.
But she had to do that more than anybody else in this movie.
Yeah, a lot of the plot did hinge on her.
And I thought she was. You didn't think she was great?
I just thought she was kind of bland as a character.
Really?
Wow. Even you could take it back to the Guardians. I'm just like, I thought
she was, because she had to play two versions of herself throughout a lot of this movie.
No, shout out to the actor who played her. But,
That's what I said.
But okay, yeah, props to her. But
Yeah.
Nebula as a character,
So, what, you agree the actor did a good job, but you don't like the character?
I don't like the character.
Those are two different things.
I know. So I agree with you, but I'm just not agreeing with you on the character that she played.
Well, that's another conversation. I thought she was good. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah. So overall, like, we're gonna redo the top 3 because if you remember last week, I said there was a possibility that we could shift the shit. Mine shifted, and this is how it's gonna go. MCU movies go just like this. Number 1 is Endgame. Number 2 is Infinity War because it set up Endgame. Winter Soldier is number 3. Because movies with implication, movies that have stakes, movies that take chances and risks, those are my fucking movies. And those 3 movies define and hit all those notes.
So it sounds like you really like the Russo brothers.
Russo brothers, I'm
By the
going
way,
to go do some research on them.
That was actually one of the Russo brothers in that scene with the Cap in the PTSD scene, where the guy was talking about he went on a date with like a guy and like they started crying.
Yeah.
That was one of them.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I forgot which one.
Huh.
That was one of them.
Did not know that.
Yeah. And they actually are directing, I think, the 21 Bridges movie that, what is it?
Chadwick
gonna
Boseman,
be
I already like the Facebook page. That shit
Yeah.
looks fucking dope as fuck.
But that's another conversation. Anyways,
I will be
long story
doing a
short,
review for that. We will be doing, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Anyways, Endgame was awesome. Definitely go see it.
Yes.
Uh,
There's a lot of shit that we didn't even begin to fucking touch.
And you never know. When 6 months from now, when it comes on Blu-ray, maybe we'll retouch it. We'll actually go more in depth on it.
Oh, we will. There ain't no might
we
about
definitely
it.
going to.
And that's just gonna be an hour long. So strap yourselves
It
in
will be.
advance,
But
motherfuckers.
until then, I'm Calvin A.G.
I'm TJ Wild.
What you doing, man?
9. Just chilling and taking my 3 a.m. tired ass to bed. We'll see you next week, y'all. We out.